Hey, my lovelies. Welcome to my channel. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. My name is Kamoy, okay? So we are at day 2, y'all, okay? We at the day 2 leveling up, right? Whatever it is in your life you feel you need to level up to, we are taking the next, technically now, 99 days to get it done, right? Or at least to change our thinking, maybe to create some new habits, to deal with some traumas, to love yourself more, to put yourself first more, to whatever it is you feel you need to level up on. We're going to be doing that for the next 99 days. We started yesterday. So welcome if you are new. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. My name is Kamoy, and I'm super excited. If you're tuning in via my podcast, Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, I want to just thank you guys. So here we go. I woke up this morning and I kind of felt a sense that I was not going to really pre-record, or at least try to not pre-record as much as possible, and really just tap in day to day and then record and then upload, right? So keeping in mind, let me just make this note, right? If you were going to be watching this via Instagram and I go past 15 minutes, you can tune in via Facebook or my podcast or YouTube. Okay, YouTube link is in my bio, and you can find me on any main major platform that you can find a podcast, and you can also find me on Facebook, and that's going to be the number 4 year in the voice. Okay, now with that being said, the whole goal here and what we're doing here is really reprogramming yourself so you can be you, not the best you, but so you can literally be you, right? We walk around and we wear so many hats. We have so many different things going on: work, school, family, co-workers, personal issues, doubts, fears, whatever it is, right? We are going through so much different energy throughout the day that you may have to present yourself throughout the day in different ways. Okay, so this is all about tapping into yourself and reconnecting with yourself. Okay, so today is March 30th, 2021. We are at day 2 on the leveling up. Okay, the date reduces down to the number 2 also, just so you know, right? So we got a cluster of 3s popping up in the date today, and we got a cluster of 2s popping up in the date today, right? So we have heavy mental energy today as well as heavy intuitive energy in the atmosphere today. Now we do have the number 1 popping up in the date also, and what you need to know is that all 3 planes are in operation today. So there may be some things you may have to physically do today because of the number 1. There may be some things that you have to physically deal with on a soul level and an emotional level with today. And there may be some mental things going on today that you may also have to deal with today. All right. So keeping in mind is try to stay away from any low vibrational energy because of that cluster of 2s. All right. All right. The number 1 represents your ego, or at least it represents how your ego is expressed or oppressed, right? Now, the number 1 also deals with being self-reliant and being able to tap into a place of fulfillment, not just inner, but also be able to experience that in an outer, right? So that energy is in the atmosphere today. Being organized is going to be key for some of you today as well. To be stepping into your uniqueness today is going to be key when dealing with the number 1 from the date right now. Number 2 is the gateway to the intuition. We've been talking about this for months now, right? Now, I do want to say this, bringing in the number 2 within your experience today, just be mindful to tap into balance and harmony within that number today. Being able to be adaptable today is going to be important within that number, right? Some of you may even want to tap into encouragement today, and I'm going to tell you why. Because today, for day 2, it's all about giving. And I know this may be cliche when you go back to, you reap what you sow, or you give and you get, those types of cliche. But we're going to unpack all of this in the Zoom as well as on the live, right? We're going to unpack why this one in particular, the given method, is going to be important as you're moving throughout the 100 days, right? So Number two today helps you to do that, right? Number two taps into a sense of placidity, like a sense of calmness, right? There's a sense of love also in the atmosphere vibrating with the number two today, right? So some of you may definitely have to encourage yourself today within this energy. We also have three going on within the date today, and that's the key to your memory, right? So that's understanding and remembering that you got a duality, you got ego and you got spirit. And then, right, activating your mind, your memory as you do so, right? Now, number three can bring in energy where you can use your imagination, where you can step out in bravery, right? Number three also operates with speech and communication, right? And it also taps into culture, right? And let me just say this right here. A lot of you within this next 100 days may have to tap into some of your culture. You may have to bring in some spiritual aspects from your culture and apply it to your walk, right? So keep that in mind, right? You're going to be going into your spiritual toolkit and your spiritual toolbox and pulling out what works for you as we go along this journey, right? Keeping in mind that the sun is in Aries, right? So when we're talking about the sun in Aries, we're talking about cardinal energy, right? This is energy that may need to make the first move. So this may require you to take some action, right? This is initiation energy. Now, just so you know, Aries is a positive polarity, right? So we're talking about extroverted energy. So there again, and it's a fire energy. So that may mean there may need to be some action or some movement, right? Now, keeping in mind, right, the sun energy or where the sun is placed, that archetype energy, you can use the energy to work for you. You can use it to work against you, right? So within the energy of Aries, you can find your warriorship coming into place where you got to step up and be a warrior. Some of you may need to fall back and kind of tuck your swords away as you're moving throughout this energy. This energy can bring in competition. It can bring in fighting, right? But it can also bring in courage and bravery. This is important. It can bring in courage and bravery as well as you being able to take action, right? Now, the interesting thing within this energy is sometimes, you know, and this is, you know, the archetype of Aries. So sometimes within this Aries energy, or you can find within people that has that heavy Aries archetype energy, if they're not doing their work, you can find that within this energy, they're genuinely perplexed or like kind of don't understand when things don't go their way. Like it's kind of like childlike, like they really don't understand sometimes when things don't go their way. So you want to be mindful of this, right? Because we're still dealing with you being able to be flexible and move in this energy, right? So the one thing also within this Aries energy that you can find is that you will be able to get the job done, right? However, you want to be mindful not to create drama and conflict as you're doing so, okay? So be mindful of that as you're moving throughout this energy. Aries is ruled by Mars, okay? So you still have that courage and bravery energy coming through from Mars. You still got that competition energy, right? You got the survival energy, and you have that energy where the anger, if you're not careful, right, what you can do is utilize the energy and reflect it back to anger, where you can take that energy and reflect it and take action. It's really your choice. You can't be happy and sad at the same time, right? So you have that going on. The moon is in Scorpio, so we're talking about deep emotions. We're talking about maybe some people even holding on to things emotionally, right? So you may find things that happened a while back within this energy. Now it's argumentative. People want to explode, and you know, all of this shit that you didn't even know was still there comes up within this energy. So just be mindful within the speech and the communication. There go that number three energy again, right? So be mindful of that, okay? And then I also want to put this out there. Exercising, right, can help greatly. All right, let me just tell y'all something now. I found my Groupon okay, for my bar classes. So my first month, okay, I got discounted for like $36. So you guys really, like, exercising can help, okay? Now, I'm not saying that every day you get up and it's going to be easy. Like, real talk, I got up this morning and I'm just like, I don't feel like doing shit. Why did I not pre-record this video, right? However, I have things that I have to do. Some I have to push past how I feel and get some things done, right? And it's just like that sometimes. Sometimes you just got to push past how you feel to be able to get certain things done. Now, I do know that I have top things that needs to get done today, and then I do have some things that I can transition over to tomorrow. I got one project that I have to get done today and get it out because I've been, working on it for a while, and being a perfectionist, doesn't always help because that's also a way of procrastinating. So that's something I have to be mindful of within myself, right? So I'm gonna get that project done and out and off to that person definitely by today. So that's my goal today, is to finish that project. Now, what I do want to say, okay, this, because we got 5 minutes to talk about this, because if it goes to over 15 minutes, once again, if you're tuning in via Instagram, you're going to have to catch the rest of it on any of the other platforms, right? So let's talk about day 2. Yesterday was all about taking the first step, okay? And that was important, right? Because you can't really get anything done without taking the first step. So yesterday was all about taking the first step. Now, I want you to be mindful that you're going to have to incorporate that as you're moving throughout the 100 days, right? Every time you come to a next phase of whatever level or whatever you're leveling up, you're going to have to take that first step. And sometimes that first step is going to be a physical step, a mental step, or an emotional step. It just really matters on where you are on your path, right? Now, day 2 is all about giving. You're going to have to give that in which you seek, right? So, for example, if you are trying to level up and you need more support and you feel like you're not getting enough support, guess what? You're going to have to be more supportive in your relationships and the things that you're doing. If you feel like you're leveling up and you really require more love and you want more love, guess what? You are going to have to give that in which you seek, right? So technically, you're going to have to plant the seed and like reap what you sow type thing, my mother used to tell this growing up. We used to hear this saying. My mother used to say, nothing ever is hidden, because what you can't see in the dark eventually becomes to light. Now, in my mama's case, that referred to, she would know whether or not you're having sex, because, eventually a baby bump will pop out. But that saying really goes back to anything. You can apply that to anything, right? You don't really have to hide anything in the dark. Eventually things will come to light, right? So out of darkness comes enlightenment, right? So which means you have an aspect of yourself, right, that you want to be filled. You are first going to have to fill that by doing that in which you require. Like, so if you want more money, but you hoard onto money, you're going to have to give, right? That's how it works, right? If you want more love, right, you're going to have to give love, right? You want more support, you're going to have to give support. If you want more time, you're going to have to give more time, right? If you want more respect, you're going to have to work on giving people more respect, right? So today, you're going to work on giving that in which you feel you need. You're going to have to learn the principle of giving. Okay, now, I want to preface this with this, because this is where some people may get confused, right? This does not mean that you become a doormat. Let me just preface this by saying this does not mean that you become a doormat. But real truth is, deep within yourself that you know when you're not giving enough, when you're requiring a whole bunch of things. Don't nobody have to morally correct you. Nobody have to do that. You know when you're not doing enough. You know when you're not giving enough. Hell, I know when I'm not doing and giving enough. Okay? And I can tell you, I grew up in a background where I watched my mother giving and people just taking advantage of her. And I was a daughter that said, hello, that's not going to be me. But I can tell you guys now where I am, it's like having to relearn the principle of giving. Okay. And also having to relearn some principles of not putting too much on my plate, right? Because sometimes that's the thing that you got to learn too, right? Is that you say yes and you want to give so much, so you make commitments that you can't genuinely honor because you got too much going on, right? So really be honest with yourself about how you can give and how you can give freely, and maybe how you can give to overcome, right, some type of fear that you've been holding on to that you're not going to receive. Right? You're not going to receive if you don't give, honey. So every time you hold on and you try to restrict and you don't allow things to flow, you are stopping the flow. Okay? So be mindful. All right? We're going to practice the law of correspondence today, as the law of correspondence today. As above, so below. As within, so without. Which means that that in which you give has to come back to you. Okay? It has to be mirrored back to you. Like we can even tap into the law of rhythm there. We can even tap into the law of cause and effect there. Okay? Please understand that, right? Nothing is wasted in the universe. The same energy that you give out, it will be returned back to you. All right? So practice giving today. All right? Okay. I'm going to see y'all in tomorrow's daily vibration.